I feel like rice has been seriously misunderstood, especially for Asians. A lot of people probably eat it every day. But after being diagnosed with diabetes, I started to notice a lot of people actually have pressure to eat rice because people around them often say things like, you shouldn't eat rice or you have to eat less rice. Technically, they're not wrong. Rice is mostly carbs, and people with diabetes don't process carbs as efficiently. But based on my own experience, when I try to eat only a tiny amount of carbs, I end up feeling constantly hungry. I also get strong cravings for snacks like crackers or junk food. So this week, I'm going to try something different. I'll eat rice at every single meal for every single day. I want to find out how much rice can I actually eat, how will it make me feel, and most importantly, can rice be part of a healthy way for me to manage my condition? I only have half a pancreas, so I believe if I can do it, everybody can do it too. So, day one, I usually start my first meal with a salad, and I love cucumbers because they're so convenient. Also, with a tomato, this is so easy to cut. And I also put some tuna and some salt and pepper. For rice, I'm thinking to try 60 grams first. This is brown rice. Protein is very important, so I'm having 2 eggs. This is really the easiest salad I can make. For my first bite, I always start with vegetables. Here, I'm eating my salad first. The next thing I always eat is protein. And 20 minutes later, I start to eat my carbs. This timing is really important. 2 hours later, my blood sugar is 114, which has increased by 16 points. Ideally, I want my blood sugar levels to be around 140 because that my blood sugar wouldn't be too low before my next meal. For dinner, I'm making curry, Japanese curry. And I need to use the tofu that's been left in the fridge. Using another pot to cook some beef, adding some water before I put in the curry block. And vegetables, yes, vegetables, of course, very, very important. For dinner, I'm thinking to eat 120 grams of rice, brown rice. Eating my vegetables first. And the next is my protein. 20 minutes later, I start to eat my rice. 2 hours later, my blood sugar is 112, which is, again, a little bit too low. So I'm eating this black sugar cookie, which obviously is nothing but sugar and flour, and it's actually, yeah. So today, I think it's because of that brown sugar cookie I had yesterday. So my fasting blood sugar turned out to be 112, which is too high. My goal is to keep it under 100. For my first meal, I had 60 grams of rice yesterday, but the result was too low. So I'm adding another 60 grams. I'm eating 120 grams today. And I guess people would be wondering, like, how is it possible to be eating the same food every day? And that's me because I'm very lazy. So yes, I'm making the same salad, exactly the same salad, cutting cucumbers, tomato, and adding some tuna. And that's my breakfast salad. And here is my breakfast. I'm eating salad first. The first bite always has to be vegetables. And next would be protein. And 20 minutes later, I started to eat my rice. 120 grams of rice for my breakfast today. 2 hours later, my blood sugar was 180, which means my blood sugar was increased by 60 points, which is absolutely too high. So obviously 120 grams of rice for my breakfast, it was too much. For dinner, I'm also making this very lazy version of ground pork and tofu. And because I'm very lazy, I don't want to take out my cutting board, and I can save this for another day. This is what I'm eating for dinner today. I'm adding some vegetables. My dinner yesterday, I had 120 grams of rice and my blood sugar turned out to be too low. So I am having 150 grams today for dinner. Before meal, my blood sugar was 97. So the same order, I'm eating vegetables first. 20 minutes later, I started to eat rice. I also try not to sit down right after finishing my dinner. 2 hours later, my blood sugar turned out to be 129, which only increased by 32 points. I think it's great, actually. So I think 150 grams of rice could be perfect. Today, my fasting glucose is 95. I guess I have found the perfect portion for my dinner, which is 150 grams of brown rice. So all I have to figure out is my breakfast. I had 120 grams yesterday, and obviously the result was too high. So I'm trying 90 grams today. And today I'm eating actually the same thing, and this is a lazier version. I didn't even want to take out my cutting board. And I kind of feel like eventually I'm gonna put them in my mouth and they all gonna be actually the same in my stomach. So exactly the same thing, I'm eating my rice 20 minutes after my first bite. And 2 hours later, my blood sugar was 139, which has increased by 44 points. It is perfect. For dinner today, I want to see if I eat exactly the same 150 grams of rice, would the result still be perfect? So here I'm just adding some beef into the curry that I made the other day so that dinner can be ready in 10 minutes. And yes, pretty much the same thing. I eat vegetables and protein first, and 20 minutes later, I started to eat rice. And right after dinner, I try not to sit down and just took a walk for like 20 minutes. My blood sugar before dinner was 104. 2 hours later, it turned out to be 137, which has only increased by 33 points. I think I can say that yes, I have really found the perfect portion for my dinner, which is 150 grams of rice. Today, my fasting blood sugar level turned out to be 89, which is actually too low. So good news, I can reduce 1 unit of my insulin. So yesterday, I have found that 90 grams of rice seem to be working perfectly for my blood sugar in the morning, so I gotta test it again. Honestly, at this point, I'm so tired of rice, and just by eating rice for 4 days, my face has gotten from this to this. And I couldn't help but to be looking at other food when I was eating my cucumber. So after eating my protein, the same 20 minutes later, I had my rice. Hours later, my blood sugar was 124, which has only increased by 35 points. I guess, yes, this experiment is done. It's perfect. So I was also wondering if I have already reduced 1 unit of my insulin dosage, would the result still be the same if I eat 150 grams of rice for dinner? And the answer is yes, absolutely. I had the same routine. I ate vegetables, protein, and rice 20 minutes later, and then I took a walk. 2 hours later, my blood sugar level was 133, which was perfect. And the next morning, my fasting blood sugar level was 100. Perfect. Okay, let's make a conclusion. I think rice is amazing because it got my face from this to this in just 4 days. And the reason is because with my original medication dosage, I can eat so much rice and my blood sugar levels were still too low to the point that I needed to reduce my insulin doses, and I still had so much rice to finish, like really way too much. On the bright side, there was no chance of late night cravings. No way, there's absolutely no room for that. And now that I think about it, I didn't do any snacking over the past 4 days, like not even once. Which means if I don't want to eat that much of rice, like I want to eat a more reasonable portion, let's say maybe 100 grams for dinner, I could probably lower my insulin even more and still feel completely full with no hunger or cravings. Okay, that's it. Next week, you will see me not eating rice because I'm tired of it, literally. But what about you? How much rice can you eat? You can also find out